Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to look at something pretty wild. The journey an AI algorithm takes, from just being a piece of code to becoming a life-saving tool that a doctor can actually trust with a patient's life.
So, yeah, that's the big question, right? How does that happen? Because it's not enough for an AI to just be smart. No way. It has to prove itself over and over again by running this grueling gauntlet of tests and regulations. This isn't just some academic exercise. We're talking about real-world patient safety.
All right, so let's meet our little algorithm here. It's brand new, it's promising, and it's designed to do one really important thing: predict life-threatening reactions to medication. We call these adverse drug events, or ADEs for short.
Now, an ADE, that could be anything. It could be a simple rash, or it could be catastrophic organ failure. The whole point of this AI is to see those tiny warning signs in a patient's data and raise a big red flag before any harm happens. But right now, it's just a cool idea in a computer. It's got a lot to prove.
Okay, so the first trial, it's not even in a hospital. It's a mountain of paperwork. The AI has to go up against these really rigorous standards set by government regulators, because in their eyes, this piece of software, it's a medical device.
So, to get the green light, it has to navigate this total maze of complex rules. Here in the US, you've got the FDA. Over in Europe, it's something called the CE marking system. Now, they're both aiming for the same thing, keeping patients safe, but they've got their own distinct ways of classifying and approving a device like this AI. Let's dig into the most common path here in the US, the 510K. It's basically a two-step dance. First, you have to find a similar device that's already been approved. They call this a predicate. Then, and this is the hard part, you have to prove with cold, hard data that your new AI is at least as safe and just as effective as the one that's already out there. And this is what I find so fascinating. You can see here that the developers have to obsessively, and I mean obsessively, plan for failure. They have to think of every single thing that could possibly go wrong, like the hazard of the AI missing an ADE, and then build a specific fix or mitigation for it. Stuff like continuous monitoring, just to make sure patient safety is always number one.
So, once it's jumped through all the regulatory hoops, the AI finally gets to leave the nice, clean, predictable world of the lab. Now it's time for its trial by fire. It has to prove it can actually work in the chaotic, messy, unpredictable world of a real hospital.
This whole validation process happens in two really critical phases. First up is what's called a retrospective study. That's where the AI chews through thousands of old patient records to prove it would have caught the problems. If it passes that test, then it gets to move on to the main event, its prospective study. We're talking a live clinical trial with real doctors and real patients in real time. And this number right here, that's the passing grade. The AI's accuracy on all that historical data gets measured with a metric called AUC-ROC, and it has to score higher than 0.85. To put that in perspective, that is a really high bar for accuracy. If it can't hit that, it doesn't even get a shot at the live trial.
And this chart, this perfectly shows what that live trial is all about. See, it's not just about the AI being smart on its own. It has to actually make a difference. The trial has to prove that when doctors and nurses use the AI, they see a significant, measurable drop in these preventable ADEs compared to what they can do with just standard care alone.
But, proving it works one time, that's not the end of the road. Not even close. Medicine doesn't stand still. It's constantly changing, and so the AI has to face this ongoing challenge of staying sharp, staying accurate, and being incredibly fast.
And here's the critical problem. A model that's trained on yesterday's data is doomed to fail. Just look at this timeline. Its accuracy starts high, but it degrades over time. And why is that? Well, because new drugs get approved, treatment guidelines change, patient populations shift. The AI can become obsolete, and fast.
So the solution is a total rethink of how the system is built. You've got to move away from these slow batch systems that might run predictions, say, every 4 hours. Instead, you need a real-time streaming architecture that can process new information and spit out a prediction instantly.
This thing is a system that never sleeps. I mean, every single new piece of data, a lab result comes in, a new vital sign is recorded, it's treated like an event. It flows instantly through this pipeline, tells the model to take another look, and if something's wrong, bam! It sends a life-saving alert to a doctor in less than a second.
So, after surviving this entire gauntlet, from all that regulation to the real-world trials, the AI has really evolved.
It's not just a tool anymore. It's become a trusted partner, and it's giving us a glimpse into the future of medicine.
And listen, this ADE predictor, it's really just the beginning. The next generation of this stuff is going to be what they call multimodal. That's just a fancy way of saying it's going to pull in data from everywhere. Doctor's notes, CT scans, a patient's genetic code, even the data from your wearable watch to build a completely holistic picture of your health.
And the impact? It's just staggering. We're talking about a proven return on investment of over 1,900%. And that's not a typo. By preventing just a few of these incredibly expensive medical complications, the AI saves the hospital millions. It literally pays for itself in just a few weeks.
When you look at this whole journey, from a simple line of code to this clinically trusted partner, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It shows us a future where this technology isn't just assisting doctors, it's becoming a vital, vigilant, and totally trusted member of the care team, watching over every patient 24/7.